It started in the middle of a rainstorm. Evelyn Carter, New York's youngest self-made billionaire CEO, stood under the glass awning of her corporate tower, clutching her inhaler like a lifeline. To the public, she was untouchable, perfect hair, perfect suits, perfect smile. But what the world didn't know was that for 30 years, Evelyn had lived with a rare, debilitating allergy to men. It wasn't a figure of speech. The moment a man came too close, her throat would tighten, her chest would burn, and her body would go into panic. It had been this way since she was 6. She'd learned to live her life in careful circles, female staff only, female doctors, a female driver. She'd built an empire without shaking a single man's hand. Until the day he showed up. Through the sheets of rain, a tall man in a worn leather jacket strode across the plaza, his arm around a little girl with a pink raincoat and a backpack twice her size. His eyes were steady, the kind that could calm a hurricane. He paused at the entrance, bending to comfort the girl. She was crying too quietly for most people to notice, but Elena noticed. She always noticed pain. Before she could stop herself, she stepped forward. "Is she okay?" The man looked up. And in that moment, against every medical warning, every fear, her chest didn't tighten. Her breathing stayed steady. For the first time in 3 decades, a man stood within arm's reach, and her body didn't revolt. "She's fine," he said gently. "First day at a new school. Nerves." His voice was deep but soft, like warm coffee on a cold morning. "I'm Jack. This is Emily." Jack explained that he was a Navy veteran, recently widowed, and trying to start fresh in the city. Emily clung to his hand like it was the last piece of safety she had left in the world. Elena's assistant came rushing over with an umbrella, clearly alarmed at the situation, but Elena waved her off. "Come inside. Both of you." Inside, over hot chocolate for Emily and coffee for Jack, the three of them talked. Elena found herself laughing at Emily's knock-knock jokes, the kind that didn't really make sense but were funny because she told them with so much confidence. She learned that Jack had been looking for work but was struggling. Every job required odd hours or travel he couldn't manage with a young daughter. Something stirred in Elena, something deeper than attraction. It was recognition. She had been alone, too. She knew what it was to fight every day for stability, for safety. That's when Emily asked the question that changed everything. "Do you have a daddy?" Elena froze. "No, sweetheart." Emily frowned. "You should get one. Daddy makes pancakes." Jack chuckled awkwardly, but Elena's eyes stung. She realized she'd spent her whole life avoiding men, not just because of her allergy, but because she'd convinced herself they could only hurt her. Yet here was a man whose entire being radiated safety. The twist came a week later. Elena's boardroom was in chaos. An emergency had erupted with a major supplier. The meeting had dragged on past midnight. When she stepped out, exhausted, she found Jack in the lobby. Emily was asleep in his arms, head on his shoulder. "You left your umbrella in the cafe," he said, holding it out with his free hand. She laughed, shaking her head. "You walked across the city, in the rain, just to return this?" He shrugged. "You helped me and Emily. Returning an umbrella seems like the least I could do." Her heart squeezed. This wasn't business. This wasn't obligation. This was kindness, pure, uncalculated, human kindness. That night, she told him the truth. About the allergy. About the panic attacks. About how she hadn't been able to stand near a man since she was a child. Jack didn't say anything for a long time. Then he asked, "And me?" "You," she said softly, "are the first man I can breathe around." In the weeks that followed, their worlds blended. Emily would sit in Elena's office drawing pictures of all three of them. Jack started consulting for Elena's company, using his military logistics expertise to solve problems no one else could untangle. And on a sunny morning in Central Park, while Emily fed ducks nearby, Jack handed Elena a plate of pancakes from a food truck. "No one's allergic to pancakes," he said. She laughed through the tears she didn't bother to hide.